everyone. On May 17th, MERS released version 26.1 of their System Procedures Manual. It's important for lenders and servicers to understand these changes as they have operational and compliance implications. In our last video, we talked about why the annual MERS review matters from a risk and governance standpoint. Be sure to tune into that video for those details. But staying compliant starts well before that review, with a clear understanding of MERS policies and procedures as they evolve. So today we'll dive deep into the latest updates. I'm Cassidy Tim, a manager on Richey May's Compliance Services team, and I'm joined by Aaron Sullivan, one of our mortgage experts who works closely with lenders on MERS compliance and audit readiness. Aaron is going to walk through the recent changes, why they matter, and what executive teams should be paying attention to as they evaluate risk, controls, and ongoing compliance.
Hey Cassidy, thanks for having me.
All right, let's start with the big picture. What is the MERS System Procedure Manual, and what does an updated release mean for members?
The MERS System Procedures Manual prescribes the processes that MERS members must follow to participate in the MERS system. Members should use their manual as a guide for developing their own internal policies and procedures related to their MERS activities. MERS makes updates to the Procedures Manual approximately 2 times per year. Typically, updated versions are released in the spring between May and June, and again in late fall, typically November or December. Drafts of the revisions are available to members for review a few months before the release date, with the ability to provide feedback on the expected changes. Modifications to the manual may include updated descriptions and references, clarification on procedural conditions that are already in place, or significant revisions on member requirements.
As a general rule, why should MERS members be concerned about updates to the MERS System Procedures Manual?
As MERS requires the member to use and adhere to the System Procedures Manual, members should prioritize reviewing the new release for updates that directly impact their operations so that they don't fall out of compliance with MERS. In addition to the annual review that must be submitted by December 31st, MERS may select any member for an internal quality assurance review, focusing on data records, document preparation and recording, and general compliance. If the member is not aware of and therefore does not implement updated procedure requirements, exceptions or violations may be found during these reviews. That all said, the MERS Procedures Manual is currently a 135-page document, so there are a lot of minor changes that won't have a significant impact on the day-to-day operation of MERS members. Some updates are merely clarifications to processes that have already been in place, while others are actually changing procedure requirements. These are the ones members should familiarize themselves with and implement internal adjustments as needed.
To save our audience time sifting through the entire manual, can you tell us about the key updates from the latest release?
Yes, this release incorporates several minor but noteworthy changes and others that are more impactful to the member. Let's start with the smaller changes that MERS specifically called out. The first change noted is that they have updated the appearance of loan attribute fields, menus, page layouts, and inquiry results. This includes the removal of the owner-occupied indicator from the MIN inquiry results reports where the inquiring member is not affiliated with the MIN. They have also revised the EQA and e-annual report submission page to enhance appearances and make it more dynamic to clearly show the stage of submission that the member is currently in. Regarding procedural requirements, MERS provided clarification on when, during the foreclosure process, secondary liens should be deactivated from the system. Additionally, the daily ZC report will now include several system reports that were previously excluded due to an early or late classification in a previous programming structure. Members who have built internal automation programs for processing daily system reports should review and update their programs as needed to ensure the newly incorporated reports are properly captured.
What other changes should lenders and servicers be aware of?
There are 2 significant updates. First is the addition of the RON audit log. RON stands for Remote Online Notarization, used when the public notary is at a different location than where the individual is that requires the notary service. The RON video storage in MERS provides a reliable long-term storage database for the related e-closing videos, which record the remote session associated with the notarization. The RON video storage now allows for a RON audit log. The new audit log can be used to record key events and interactions during the RON session, and then uploaded with the video to provide additional compliance support for RON video storage participants. This is a new form available to use, but it is not a requirement for RON users to complete. Finally, what may be the most important update to the manual as far as member compliance is concerned is the addition of the semi-annual contacts attestation. Every 6 months, the MERS system will alert the member to complete this form, confirming the accuracy of the member's contact list. This must be completed by the last day of the month, 6 months after the last submission. The attestation can only be completed by accounts with user IDs permitted to update MERS member information. By default, the first due date for all members will be November 30th, 2026, 6 months after this latest manual release on May 17th. However, if a member elects to complete the form before the month it's due, the system will automatically update the next due date to be 6 months from their submission date, so it may not always be due in November and May. MERS will send the member emails on the 1st and 24th of month when the attestation is due, as well as show alerts when they log into the MERS system. It's important to note that the addition of the semi-annual attestation does not remove the standard requirement that members are reviewing their member profile information monthly. This new process is meant to serve as an additional compliance marker that can be directly tracked in the MERS system.
Thanks, Erin. That is a lot of important information. Can you highlight any changes that may impact the annual MERS review?
This is actually the first time in a few years where updated procedures relate to the conditions of the annual review. There is one major change members should review and understand their individual impact based on their specific operations. Condition 3 of the annual review relates to the member's corporate resolution, which grants specific persons related to the member limited authority to take certain actions in the name of MERS. Essentially, it identifies which member employees may sign MERS-related documents on behalf of the member. Previously, all general members were required to review this on a monthly basis and make changes to the management system as needed. Under the updated 26.1 manual, members who use a subservicer for their registered MERS loans are now exempt from this requirement. Alternatively, their subservicer will be required to have and maintain an active MERS corporate resolution instead. There is some nuance here that MERS may need to clarify further. For lenders that use subservicers for their whole portfolio, this exemption should apply. However, other companies that use subservicers for certain loans, but also service some in-house, should make sure they understand their responsibility regarding the maintenance of the corporate resolution. These lenders should not simply assume they are exempt because a portion of their MERS portfolio is managed by their subservicer.
Interesting. That seems like an important distinction for lenders to understand. Just because you use a subservicer for some loans doesn't mean you are exempt from this requirement. What else should members be aware of regarding the updated System Procedures Manual?
Aside from the technical changes we discussed, the most basic requirement here is that members are aware of each System Procedures Manual update. As part of the annual review, the members must assert they have a process in place to stay compliant with these requirements specified in the MERS System Procedures Manual. As your third-party reviewer, we will request that the member provide us a copy of the most recent manual. If they are unaware there was an updated version or they don't know how to access it, that would raise a red flag if they've updated their procedures accordingly. If members note any revisions to the manual directly related to their own operations, they will want to ensure their understanding of the requirement to most effectively update their internal procedures and inform relevant employees of the change. As I mentioned earlier, updates to the manual are typically released twice per calendar year. MERS is already looking forward to release 26.2, expected this fall with a draft released a couple months prior. General ideas so far appear to address the user interface, inquiry results, and other clarification on glossary terms. No substantial changes in procedures or requirements are yet noted, but that could of course change as we get closer to the next release.
Awesome. Thank you, Erin, for the overview of the most recent release of the MERS System Procedures Manual, which, as we said, went into effect as of May 17th. If you have any questions or want to leverage the Richey May experts to perform your review, please contact us.